Boogie Wonderland. And you know what? Some of y'all think that that's what y'all gonna get too. Yeah, y'all do. Y'all think that November 9th is gonna be a Boogie Wonderland. Yeah, y'all do. Y'all just think that, oh man, new chapter, new era, and you got this mindset that it's a new day. But you know what? Everything is time released. Because even with truth, it has to come. It has its rightful place, and it just depends on how and when you're willing to accept what is being revealed. How is everybody doing? You are on the dawning of your weekend. It is Friday, ain't it? So how was your week, y'all? Sidestepping the negativity, placing God first in everything you're doing, and I hope you are speaking your truth. Because it doesn't matter if you don't speak your truth. So yeah, I didn't fall and bust my head and grab my laptop and went to type this out. I'm like, why is he putting this out? It's because your life matters, because it's priceless. That's why you can't put no label on something that is priceless. It's infinite because there's one you. So I don't know about you, but I know there's a lot of people got a lot of chatter on social media these days. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Got a lot to say. A lot of type A and introvert personalities, them alter egos. What I would do and who and how and whoop de woo and all that. But the funny thing is, where was all this passion? Because that's all it is. What was all this passion a year ago? It was all good a year ago. Where was all this focus on what has transpired this last year? Where were they? So now people have taken their stance, and there are those that are to the left, and there are those to the right, and there are those that are undecided. But the irony is, there are four candidates. Why? Why? Why is it that you don't see TV time for the other two? Hmm? Because those who have the most funding get the most attention. We don't have to. I think that's we can both agree that the media is a tool wielded properly can be very positive, but that's not the reality that we live in. The things that are sensationalized never ever have the means to empower you, but to only keep you distracted. So I'm gonna lump this video up and talk about a little bit of this, talk about a little bit of that, and down the road. But most importantly, it's about you. Hmm. Oh yeah, you do understand that there'll never be another you, right? So I'm talking to you. I'm giving you your validation that you matter. I'm letting you know that guess what? He loves you more. That's why you're gonna see this video in the intended time, in the intended moment. Let it seep in. Some of the things that you hear, you may be have a little pushback on it because it goes against your perception. But let it seep in. And in the intended time and moment, guess what? You have a new perspective. Because guess what? This don't this is this endless this endless possibility, this beautiful mind that you have, you can claim anything. But first you must have peace in yourself to manifest it. You heard that in the background, right? And that's what I want for y'all. Huh? What? What do I want you to do? Wasted time. Why? Why are you there? Why are you giving them what they don't deserve? Huh? Loyalty. Loyalty to your pain. No, 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 no. We're gonna break those we're gonna break those spiritual shackles and those delusions because see, God got something better for you. But God can't give you what you need until you connect back with yourself. See, that little boy and that little girl that lives inside you, because you do understand this is nothing but a vehicle to be able to move around in this realm. Since you're exposed to the atmosphere, guess what? Every day, part of you dies. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because the air is toxic. The water we drink is toxic. Yeah, it is. The food you're eating is toxic. Why? Because you're not cooking you're not growing your stuff. Come on now. Now look at how that may have an effect on the way you see things. If you're taking in things that are not good for you, it's going to have an effect on your brain. Do you realize there are people walking around with uh, high uh, toxicity in their system? Do you realize there are people walking around that have high uh, acidic compounds in their body that's affecting your organs over a period of time? Do you realize there are people who are actually walking around with parasites, parasites inside you, and you're wondering why you can't get rid of that cough? You're wondering why you can't get this together because those migraines. Who am I talking to? How about those unknown mystery aches and pains? You don't know where they're coming from. We are what we eat, but we feel where we put ourselves in, that atmosphere, your environment. Well, see, you can't have a perception if you don't have a scope. And that scope is that environment that you willfully place yourself in. Well, we're going to break that today. Well, we're going to try because I know you're used to being disappointed. I understand that. I know that you're used to people not keeping it real. How can someone use the term keep it real when they don't even know who they are? Hmm? Oh, you see that all the time because anytime that you try to have the courage to do something for you, to better you, they're the first ones to say, why are you doing that? Why are you acting like that? Why are you doing that? Why are you over there? Why are you interacting with those people? You know why? Because they don't want you to grow. But they don't have the courage to tell you that. Who am I talking to? So listen, let's put that on pause and let's talk about what's going on. I know a lot of y'all are sick and tired of the propaganda machine known as the media. And I know some of y'all may be even more disappointed at some of the people that you may be fond of that is in the media and the positions that they take. Now, you do understand, y'all, that is the first example of free will choice. You have a right to go left or go right, go forward or go back. At the end of the day, that's you. But what's going to happen on November 9th is this. Going to be walking around in a daze, and And then you're going to wake up and you're going to say, what have I done? Why? Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of people. Some people are going to see the boom bip, and some people are going to see it over a period of time. And you wonder why that people have a perspective of us as a nation, because there are those people that do not live in the United States that look at the United States at its most fragile state. Yes, the how can I say this? The prestige of that red, white, and blue has turned faded. And you're wondering why people are shooting each other. And you're wondering why people are out there pumping drugs. And you're wondering why there are people out there playing the martyr and doing terroristic acts. Why? Because they don't know who they are. See, I'm not going to sit up here and bang the gong and tell you what you don't already know. You got to understand we are in the last days, right? Come on, can we agree to that? Because look at it. Reality is what that should be challenged and condemned. How about protected? Is mocked, disenfranchised, and left alone. And the things that we should run from, we should question. How about not even acknowledge? We place on the first false podium we can. Why? Because they know there's someone impressionable. How about you're young? They're going to say, she acts or he acts just like me. I can relate. And I want to be just like them. Why are you going to emulate something or someone that will never bring the best you out? I'll tell you why. Because you're afraid. You're afraid. Admit it. That's the only way you're going to be able to champion your setbacks. Admit that you are afraid. Because one thing for sure is this. It's going to be there until you do. And depending on the situation, it actually feels like it took a life of its own. And it feels like you have no control. But yes, you do. Because you're breathing. You're able to see it. And it may feel like the last stand said the OK Corral. There's your problems. There's you. But what you don't see is this. See, on the other side of your problems, the other side of your despair, the other side of your distraction, there is your blessing. See, that's a rite of passage, y'all. There are some people still to this day, 2016, that don't know what the word no is. They're afraid for that to fall from their lips. Like, if I leave the state, I can never return. What? That's nothing but emotional slavery. That is nothing but manipulation. And no one can manipulate you unless you give them permission to do so. That's why I ask, do you know? Can you be honest with yourself and admit you don't know? You don't know who you are. You don't have it together. But be honest with yourself, and at least at this moment, and admit, hey, I'm worth the journey. Because your life is an experience. Your actions is what displays it. And if someone's lucky enough to learn Your story is priceless. Jill Scott once did a song called One. And in the song, she talked about a person's influence and how that one person could change a nation. We've seen this. You see this all the time when there's someone sitting on a podium to move the crowd. Well, really, we should go ahead and give props to our, they learned those, we learned that from our MCs, our dynamic speakers. But let's talk about it. Some of y'all are frightened because you're doing the math. You're doing the math behind closed doors, and you're starting to do the research, and things ain't adding up. But why is it that we have such a blind allegiance to keep the status quo? Why? What is the outcome? What is the agenda? What's the payoff for this allegiance? How does that have an effect on your life yesterday? Or more or less, well, how will the things that you decided upon yesterday set up your day, your today? How about your tomorrow? You ever think about that? Some people just won't. They'll shut down. I don't want to talk about that, Gerald. You bringing down my high. You're depressing me. Well, if it's sinking in, listen, I'm telling you the things that you should know. These are things you should be defending. Your legacy. How about the weight of your lineage of those who came before you? I saw something yesterday, just for a flicker. I think it was on Twitter. Somebody, yeah, Jill Scott. She posted a picture of a woman that had a t-shirt that said, "I am my ancestors' wildest dreams." And when you think about it, that is what your life represents, because you are carrying the torch for the next. You're setting down that next brick for the next. You are learning and expanding for the next, because you will start as the student. And if you invest, you will become the master. And that knowledge of your experience or your existence will be the toolage that will be carried on. The question should be why you don't see you're not worth it. So let's go there. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna jump off the soapbox because it's taken almost 2 years to set up, and it's coming to a culmination next Tuesday. Super Tuesday is what they call them, and nationally, those will go to the polls. Some have already gone to the polls for absentee ballots voting. They've already been doing it. But for the majority, there are going to be some people that are going to go and cast their vote on who they would like to see sit in that seat. Sit on that seat and be the representation of the free world. When you think of the United States, you see this person. But what surprises me is this. Some of y'all don't see that truck that's going to come. Oh, this ain't about doom and gloom. This is more spiritual than anything, because those who have been prayed up, because you got to stay prayed up. Now more than ever, you got to be prayed up. They know what's about to go down, and it won't have an effect, so to speak, but it will affect those who didn't see it. Oh yeah, you're gonna see a lot of people bummed out. You're gonna see people. They're gonna make sure that they show all the spectrums of the emotional display. Oh, you're gonna see people laughing and cheering. You're gonna see people crying. You're gonna see people destructive. You're gonna see people confused. Oh, they're gonna make sure that that's shown. They have to. Because see, media is also the greatest programming out there. So I got to keep pumping that out. I mean, I'm like you. I live for the day that I could come from concluding my day and there is the journalist or newscaster say, today was a good day. Don't think that's going to happen until people start getting real. How about real with themselves? How about start loving yourself? See, when you love yourself, you're not going to put yourself in harm's way. You're not going to allow yourself to be misrepresented. You're not going to misrepresent yourself. You are actually going to tap into that critical thinking because that beautiful mind. Because you do know that's what's at stake, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. As we are scratching or tapping on the next era of VR. Oh, yeah, they're about to pump VR hard, y'all. You're going to see it. They've already got them in the stores. They've got them in the stores for a good almost 2 months now. But you're about to see this. But see, here's the funny thing. Why is it when a person does not want to invest in the truth or have a dialogue, the first thing they say, well, I am not going to stoop. I'm not going to stoop to that level. But if you look at their behaviors, that's exactly what they're doing. Because the end goal is you, your opinion. How about to willfully give your consent? So when former President Bush said, we are in the era of shock and awe, he wasn't lying. Because it was the setup of the delusion and the dissolvement of the fabric as we know as our nation. Oh, yeah. Because you do understand that each administration has a sole agenda that must be fulfilled. So how do you do that? You put out imagery so it doesn't become a shock and awe. You make sure it's everywhere. So haven't you noticed now for 2015 to now, you have not seen so much LGBT propaganda. You have not seen so much. It's everywhere. Why? Because they want you to take that in. They want you to accept it. And if you don't accept it, they want you to be the outcast. They want you to be the oddball. And what do? They use the smear campaign to try to break down your character, your self-worth, or your self-esteem, to make you second guess, well, maybe I'm seeing things wrong. Maybe I missed something. No, you didn't miss anything. Because see, our opportunist doesn't need your help to expose themselves. What's required is you to have the courage to call it for what it is. But most people do this. They do. But they are quick to deflect. And that's all we've seen. I have yet to see people say, you know what? I did do that. I don't know that. This is what I want to do. And this is how. No. This was all about the stage of deflection, or how the eloquent term of softening the truth. That's why I highly recommend that you do the research, because this is not a hat rack, but they're banking that it is, that you won't. Now, at the end of the day, it's about free will. It's your choice. Just make sure that whatever your choice is, it is a reflection of who you are within yourself. So I kind of find it funny because when you look at the stats, media has been dominated by these two candidates. You don't think that was you don't think that was done on purpose? Why is it you got four candidates, but you got two only having a platform? How is that possible? Because it is. And I didn't know that. I didn't realize that until one day I happened to see footage, and I noticed that every time a candidate was on a podium, look behind him, and you will see his supporting cast, like puppets. If the candidate was like, throw your hands up in there, they throwing their hands. I'm like, really? 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 Is it that obvious? You're like, well, you know what? Put a price tag on my self-worth. See, sometimes you can spot the snakes that are sitting there. But guess what? Even if a snake is sitting there, you're not at risk. You're given the opportunity to acknowledge his presence. It's when you choose not to. And what? The snake is going to be what it is. So shame on you if you decide to provoke it, because that's the opportunity they've been looking for the whole time. So, does it surprise you that these last, what, 2.5 years, 3 years, you've seen so many shows that have, well, let's go back 12 years. Let's go back 12 years. 12 years ago, you didn't have movies or TV shows that had the imagery of a black president. Mm-mm. But conveniently, all these movies started coming out, and Morgan Freeman, the Allstate dude, and other Jamie Foxx. How coincidental these movies, and we have our beloved Barack Obama. Why? Because they still know that they want you to accept what they're giving you. So let's fast forward. We've had a whole lot of movies with women in the Oval Office, the commander in chief. You think that's coincidental? No. Why? Because they want you to embrace that ideology of, yes, this is going to come. Just like eventually you're going to have an Hispanic president, you're going to have a president of Asian descent. All this is going to come down the road. It's got to come full circle, y'all. It has to. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to have those people that say, well, I don't want another black president. Look at what we went through. You're going to have some people going to say, I don't want a female president. Look what has happened. And you're going to see this. Why? Because when it comes down to accountability, it boils down to the individual. I thought it was kind of funny when this whole debate thing started playing, and they said, well, they tried to, of course, they're throwing mud at each other and digging deep and going for the jugular, you know. And they also know 50% of what they put out is going to go over people's heads, and people are going to deliberately be oblivious of these things. They're not, because nobody wants to be the person that, oh, I supported this candidate, because they know that the backlash of choosing is going to have an effect. That's why we are also unstable as a society. That's why there's been so much talk about amendments. Oh yeah, they're afraid. They're afraid that if uh, Hillary if Hillary is TAP commander in chief, first thing she's going to do, she's going to take those weapons out your house, because her position on that is exactly that. She likes the template that and the position that Australia did. Australia a couple years ago did a referendum to remove firearms from the home. They kind of did a buyback program, and then that was okay, but it wasn't as expedient. Then they basically said, well, look, if you have this and we catch you, you're going to jail. So people were dumping guns on the street. People were throwing them in the trash cans. They didn't want to get caught. But guess what? That's your God-given right to protect your home, protect your family. Now, do I think there should be some type of legislation out there? Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I do. I do agree with that. But shouldn't that be covered by the process to even buy one? Think about it. You don't want a crazy guy mowing down your community. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. But for you to turn around and say, well, I can't protect what I love dear, that's an injustice. You're setting somebody up to be taken advantage of. I got a problem with that. I do. And what happened? When they started sniffing around on that, the weapons industry took a 200% profit margin. And you know who was leading that? Women. Women were. Because it goes back to that old principle. People always want what they don't have. So if I bang that fear gong level, you better get it or else. Better get it or else. That's gonna be motivation for you to go deep in your pocket. And like they say, it's better to have and not need than need and not have. So now you have. I mean, we as a society have to get past our biases. We do. I agree. But the problem that we're having is some of those biases fall back on our moral compass. Mm-hmm. You know you're gonna pay for that, right? You're gonna pay for that. But so my heart and prayers go out to each and every one of y'all, because that's your civic duty. There were those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for you so that you could have the right to do so. You know, but it's like having your back to a wall and you got a pack of wolves in front of you. What do you do? But what a lot of people fail to realize is this: you never corner someone. That's when they're their most dangerous. Doesn't matter how timid they are, how meek they are. They can be most ferocious when their back is turned, when their back's to the wall. Because you know what happens? Truth comes out. Same thing with crisis. You want to see what a person's made of? Put them through something. Put them through something. You'll see. That mask comes off real quick. No different than when you get disappointed. Oh yeah. You know that disappointed, that one that you don't want nobody to know, that one, yeah. Where were your friends? Yeah, you know the ones that I'm down, I'm ride or die. So they dead? Are they dead? Because why aren't they there for you? And see, people got to get real with themselves and stop lying to themselves, because the more you lie to yourself, the more you issue in pain. You basically are giving Lisa your life that you want more of the same. That's why the cycle ain't broke. And meanwhile, every day, ain't nothing worse for somebody to not only know that they are living a false life. That ain't Sally Mae. Well, how did Sally Mae get there? What was going on? Why is Junior doing that? Why? That's a manifestation of the environment of where they were. And that's the byproduct of the end result. Until the obstacle is defeated. But some of y'all, that's exactly what y'all doing. You're sleeping. Because some of y'all think, oh, happy days are here again. And I'm just like, why is it that people won't take the time to do the math? Why is it they're holding back truths? It's the same cliche. Because you got some people that want the status quo to stay the same. If you don't like your life the way it is, why won't you change it? If something's not working for you, why won't you look at it, come up with a different option? Process of elimination, critical thinking. Why don't we do that? I've never seen so much bickering as a gender, as a dynamic, as a community. We don't even have a community, y'all. This franchise, the neighbor don't even know the neighbor to share the same lawn. They don't even talk. I remember there was a time when they came out, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And you had a small moment at the mailbox. What's going on, man? All right, blah, 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 blah. All right, man, have a good day. You too. But we've gotten so shallow as a community. We always worried about when that next knife is going to be drug in our back. That's what psychopaths and sociopaths, that's why they reek in this community the way it is now. Because if you don't fight for you, you can't expect your environment to fight for you. Why? Why? You're afraid of the damn truth? I don't know. But I know this, though. Some of y'all, I say 6 months down the road, you're going to be like this. What did I do? What did I do? You shouldn't have to feel that way. Now think of it. I know some of y'all, I've had people drop me lines and say, Gerald, that's like picking two. That's like they're all crooks. And you trying to pick the lesser of the. I understand that. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. But I also know this too. This world is so demonically influenced. It's a shame. Why you think change is the way it is? Because that devil doesn't like the status quo. Don't. That's why there's so much spiritual attack going on. That's why you can't go to sleep at night. That's why you're reaching on the side of your bed and let me get that. No, that ain't the way. But see, they won't come out and tell you that. Mm-mm. Why? Because they like the route numbers that you got. They like that spending. You don't believe me? Go to Wally World. They already got the Christmas tree already up. For real? We haven't dissected the turkey yet, but we got that tree up. Mm. No, they don't want you to catch your breath. They don't want you to stop and take note of what is going on in your. They don't want you to. The more distracted you are, the more you spend. And they know social conditioning takes a minute to have clarity. They know that too. You ask a person about this upcoming presidential race, and you say, why? Why are you choosing that person? Can you just give me one? 9 times out of 10, they're going to lie to you. They're going to lie. They ain't going to tell you the truth. Some are going to bold-facedly tell you, and you have the right, it's none of your business because it's supposed to be ballot of secrecy. But I found something out that I thought was very intriguing. And if you get a chance, go up here. And uh, did you know there's a program out there that can finagle the voting, influence it, or balance it out? I I I try to debunk this thing, and it exists. So, and I know there are gonna be some people say, well, if it's a blowout, you're like, nah, 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 because Donald Trump said, oh, it's rigged. Come on, man. One day you'll come to understand this. Presidents are selected, not elected. If you want to make an impact in your community, you want to vote, it's your major impact is on the lowest level. That's your city council. Because you put them butts in those seats. They are supposed to be a representation of what you stand for, your position. But that's enough for uh, social studies, so to speak. Even though that we're really living in history anyway. That's why things come full circle. And that's why all things done in the dark come to the light. I just hope that when that light does come, you're able to see what was hidden with peace of mind. That's all. Because right now, a lot of people think the world is a big party. And they're going through life with no care and regard. But guess what? These people are going to be sadly disappointed. And you got to understand that's how money is made. Mm-hmm. Which I'm surprised. You don't think there's no political positioning going on? Any favors? You do? I mean, think about it. They even got the on-air personalities banging a gong. Really? Really? Like you can't think for yourself. Hmm? And it seems like more and more the people that got the more dirt on whoever, like that's going to put them in a better. I tell you what, I'll say this. I'd rather for someone come correct and I don't like them, but that's who they are because that's integrity than someone I don't know. Because I got a feeling what's going to happen out of those four candidates. Some people are going to be like, what was I thinking? And you're going to be like, damn, how did I not see that? Do the research. That's all I'm saying. Do it. But I also understand this too. Socially, social media is a weapon, and if anything, you see that there's a lot of people that don't want change, and they ain't gonna come out and tell you this because they know that it's gonna cut off the hands of some of these people making a lot of money. They know that. There's a lot of people making a lot of money right now and have been making money for a long time, and they know that. Well, if I change that paradigm, uh, I actually got to work for a living. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. Sidestep the negative. I got a feeling that a lot of y'all have been having a lot of epiphanies lately. Y'all have seen some things come out of the woodwork that you were kind of like, where did that come from? Why is this happening? Where have you been? And what do you have to say? And you're feeling a little vulnerable nowadays. Embrace that. Embrace it. You know why? Because the person that you're going to be in the next 5 years is relying that you act accordingly. Maybe this is the moment that you finally decide to be silent. Maybe this is the time that you're about to go on a totally different track of your life. And a door is going to be open for you to receive a whole lot of things intellectually that you weren't privy to. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to piss you off. It's going to piss you off because you're going to be like, why did you think that I was not able to understand that? Why was you withholding that? Why were you deceiving me? And then some of y'all are going to be like, okay, I know why I'm going through this because it's going to take you back to when you did that to somebody else, or that you may have been privy to, you saw the same scenario play out, but you didn't get the lesson, or you chose to keep your hands off. Don't you realize anytime you if you're in the midst of something, it's kind of like, well, like in the criminal field, it's, if you're with somebody and they walk in a store and they shoplift and you were with them, you get charged with the same offense, even though that you didn't take nothing. You're accessory to the fact because of the fact that you were there. You were going to be lumped in. And I think that's what's going to happen because there are going to be a lot of people that don't realize that they're thinking they're winning. They finally got their, I ain't got to go there because some of y'all already know because these last couple of years, people have been sticking their chests out like, how you like me now? Yeah, this is who I am. And what, but you don't realize that was the goat to goat you out, to expose yourself without protection. And that boom bip is going to come and might be a mass. They're going to get the broom out and clear everybody that was involved. Don't fall for the okie doke, y'all. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Now more than ever, you got to be connected with yourself. I mean, think of it this way. As much as you're going to experience in your life, you don't have time to hold on to pain. Maybe this is the moment that you're going to finally have the courage to be honest with yourself, to heal. How about forgive that person? You see, a lot of people don't realize that when people transgress against us, they're working with the perceptions of what they were with at that time. You ever thought about that? So if you have a small perspective on how you see things, you're going to respond and act accordingly. Maybe that person didn't have all the faculties needed to make uh, uh, a correct decision, and there was a lot of impulsiveness. But guess what? If they gave a damn about you, the last thing they're going to do is put themselves at risk. So if you're connected with them, why would you think they would do the same to you? Why? Hmm. I'm just saying, y'all, you got a lot of wannabe narcissists out there, but really these people thinking that, you know what, I can do and say and get away with whatever and there's no accountability. All I'm going to say in regards to that is give yourself 5 feet. Give yourself 5 feet and just watch. Because you do know God gets tired, right? Sometimes when we go through downfalls, it's to set us up to where we should have been the whole time. Who am I talking to? But if there's no love there, if there's no peace there, if there's no empowerment there, you do understand he wasn't supposed to be there anyway. That's all I'm saying. So, I hope you guys have a safe and blessed weekend. Um, of course, place God first in everything you do. You can't go wrong. But by always stay prayed up, but speak your truth because your truth is who we all see when it defines you. And you matter. You're priceless. I ain't got to tell you that. Sallie Mae, she don't know who she is. That's why Sallie Mae is catching all these problems right now. And that's okay because, see, we live in a world where people won't tell the truth. And you can just see it in their actions that I don't like using the term thirsty, but they're barren when it comes to love. They want love so bad. They want love so bad, even if it means disrespecting themselves for a temporary fix. Well, guess what? You can't kill love. Love is forever because it always transcends. Why? Because it has to match your destiny. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me define me. You know, it's funny. There are people that can't even look in the mirror. I used to think because they were afraid, because they can't recognize the person who they are. But I really think it's because they're able to see that little boy or that little girl with their heart looking back. You're priceless, y'all. But I can't make you see it. We all got to do our work. Play some first, y'all. Have a safe weekend. Be blessed.